Good evening, Mustang fans. My name is John Nee, varsity offensive line coach here at St. Rita, and welcome to this week's version of Rita Replays. This week, we're going to go back to 2013, a Week 9 contest against Catholic League rival, the Loyola Ramblers. To give you a little background, coming into the 2013 game, we hadn't beaten Loyola since 2007. Prep Bowl game out at Loyola that we had won 21-0 to advance to the Prep Bowl that season, coming off of our 2006 state championship team. And we would go on to win the Prep Bowl that year. But we had not beaten Loyola since 2007. So coming into 2013, we were coming off a 2012 season where we went 4-5. We went into Week 9 that season against Loyola, sitting there 4-4, needing to beat them to qualify for the state playoffs. And they came into Doyle Stadium and beat us and knocked us out of the playoffs for that year. We were coming off of two back-to-back semifinal seasons in 2010 and 2011. So obviously it was a disappointment in 2012 to not qualify for the playoffs. So here we were in 2013. We had gotten a big boost with an off-season transfer by the name of Tommy Mister, who had come into St. Rita and would go on to have one of the greatest single seasons in St. Rita football history. He would go on to earn a scholarship to Indiana University and then finish his career at Northern Illinois. So coming into the season, we had high hopes for this 2013 team, and we started the year against Marist at Soldier Field, and we beat them. And coming into this Week 9 game, we were 7-1. And the game against Loyola was going to determine the Catholic League Blue Championship. We hadn't won a Catholic League title since the 2010 team. So the Ramblers were coming to town, and it's always a tough battle. Coach John Holisick does a great job with that team, especially on the defensive end. But we knew going in that a mobile quarterback was going to go a long way in allowing us to have a shot to beat them. So without further ado, we'll show you the game. It's an exciting contest. It was a great night at Doyle Stadium, perfect fall weather, and great crowd, great enthusiasm, and it's a game I know you're really going to enjoy. So enjoy the game. We'll see you afterwards.
Welcome, everybody, to the South Side for a fabulous matchup tonight on our final Catholic League Blue game of the season. It's, in essence, the championship game as Loyola takes on St. Rita. Good evening, everybody. I'm Jim Blaney. Thank you so much for joining us. It's pretty simple. Loyola wins. They are the Catholic League Blue champions again, and they will likely be the number 1 seed in 8A for the state playoffs. But for St. Rita, they can grab a share of the title with a victory tonight, and they can help their cause in Class 7A by finishing the season 8-1. Joining me for tonight's game is my partner, Jack McInerney. And Jack, Tommy Mister, a little bit different kind of a quarterback, more of a running quarterback, and it would seem Loyola wants to keep him in the pocket where they can find him.
Well, if they borrow the film from Mount Carmel, they will be able to do that. But it's going to be tough to do. He's a great player, over 1,000 yards rushing, same throwing the ball. He's just a tremendous football player, and he is the catalyst for St. Rita. But St. Rita has an awful lot of options to go to, and they've been playing a lot better these last several weeks, and I think you're going to see a different St. Rita team tonight.
Here's John Regan, senior linebacker for St. Rita. And John, what was your favorite Halloween costume you wore growing up?
When I was little, I dressed up as a Walker, Texas Ranger.
What's your favorite fruit?
Banana.
If you had to cook a meal from scratch, what would you cook?
Grilled cheese.
Name your favorite pro football stadium.
Soldier Field.
Have a great game tonight.
Thank you.
That's Catch This. Now back to Jim Blaney.
Mark, thank you very much. When we come back, we will get it started. The Catholic League Blue championship game. It's St. Rita hosting Loyola. We'll have the kickoff coming up next right here on the U2. Loyola won the toss. They deferred. St. Rita exercised the option to take the ball first, and so that means that Mike Kerzlowski will kick it off for Loyola, and he has the wind at his back.
Most of the forecasters at the beginning of the year talked about that it could come down to this ball game, Loyola against St. Rita. And, of course, Mount Carmel's had the consistent year they thought they were going to have. But these two teams were the two teams they thought it was going to come down to, and that's what we've got tonight.
Julian Crum, who blocked a field goal late to assure the victory over Brother Rice, and Lamar Dawson are deep to receive for the St. Rita Mustangs. And that ball will be taken at the 1-yard line, and it's taken by Crum. He'll start up toward the far sideline, stays on his feet, and then runs into the down marker at the 25-yard line.
So that is where St. Rita will start out on offense. And there is Tommy Mister, their quarterback, transferred from Richards. Runs very well, throws the ball pretty well, but if you're going to pick your poison against Tommy Mister, you would rather have him try to beat you throwing the football.
It'll be real interesting to me, and I'm sure to some of our other coaching fans that are out there, to see what the defensive scheme that Loyola is going to work. Are they going to take Mister away and force the other two running backs to beat them, or are they going to try to play balanced defense? It's going to be very interesting because it's going to be a chess match right now.
Tyree Lee and DJ Miles are the running backs standing with Mister in the shotgun. Mister. He tried to hang on. I don't think he wanted to pull it out of there. All that does is allow the Loyola defense to catch up with the play. It was a handoff to Miles on first down, and it looks like it will actually be no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 coming up.
Well, my point being that I want to see what they're going to take away from St. Rita and what they're going to live with as a matchup. In other words, are they going to take away Mister and try and live with the other two backs having a big game, or they could try to balance it out? A lot of different chess matches right there, and you can see right there they want to come with the option. Both those running backs are very explosive, so they have the opportunity, as same as Tommy Mister does, is to break in a long one.
Mister will hand off. It is again a handoff to Miles, and the ball may have come out. There's a lot of activity at the end of the play, but it's marked down at the St. Rita 27-yard line. That's a gain of about 4 yards. It's going to be 3rd down and 6. Jack, can you get this fine with it if you're Loyola? That is, make sure that you control the running game in the early downs and try to make it 3rd down and long so Mister has to throw the football.
Absolutely. And there's a perfect example right there of nobody blocking the middle linebacker. The tackle should have came down and cut him off. Nobody got to him. If they continue playing like that running back's not going to have anything between the tackles.
Crum goes in motion, so you now have 3 receivers out to the right. On 3rd down at about 6, Mister, he's going to take off. This is where he's dangerous. Sidesteps a tackler, goes all the way out to the 35-yard line. He will have a 1st down for St. Rita. So Loyola, they had the pass defensed, but Tommy Mister gets away, and that's where he can get yardage, and he can hurt you, and he moves the chains.
Well, you'll see this in college football on Saturdays. Anytime you have an athlete like this young man right here, he makes plays. He makes them with his arm and his feet. And in his case, he's a much better runner than he is a passer, but he's been adequate all year in that category.
That is a big 1st down for St. Rita. To not go 3 and out, on the first possession of the game is a big plus for St. Rita. They want to try and at least tilt the field position back the other way before they might have to give up the football. Miles got the ball quickly, but he got hit just as quickly. Brought down by Tim Sullivan, and it's going to be no gain on the play. 2nd down and 10 coming up from the St. Rita 36-yard line.
We always talk about how very important it is to get at least 3 or 4 downs on 1st down, and you can see right here, nobody blocks the outside linebackers. You're just collapsing down inside. What this is doing for St. Rita, though, is that it's setting up. Sometimes you make a waste play. You'll run it inside to have them crash down so you can set something up on the perimeter later. So all this kind of thing does lead eventually to the type of schemes they're looking at.
Ladd out to the right, Gaston out to the left. Mister, he drops back, read option, wants to throw downfield, had a man open, and he just throws it a little bit too tall for Brandon Gaston. Incomplete. It's 3rd down and 10.
Now that was set up by the play before. You'll see the little fake right here, and that's supposed to freeze the linebacker, and then the split end is coming right in behind the linebackers just to overthrew it. He had good position. That could have been a very big play for St. Rita early.
That is a big miss for St. Rita early. Is nice route by Gaston as he got behind the Loyola defense.
But what it does, Jim, is it throws a little fear into the hearts of those defensive backs, and they'll play a little softer, which will help St. Rita with the run.
Gaston and Crum are out to the right. Now Crum goes in motion to the short side of the field. Mister, little fake, drops back, wants to throw, fires, has a man. That time he gets Gaston in Loyola territory. Gaston taken down at the 44-yard line by Mark Dowdle. 1st down for St. Rita in Loyola territory at the 44-yard line.
Well, they pulled a safety out with 2 other receivers on the other side. Now, they ran this very effectively against Providence 2 or 3 weeks ago, right over the middle of the field, and Mister did a great job, and his target all the time was Gaston. And he looks like an awful lot like his brother right there who was playing at Purdue.
20-yard gain on the play, and we get a flag.
There's a flag down. Illegal substitution.
One of the Mustangs, and I believe it was Tyree Lee, got off the field late. They had broken the huddle with 12 men, and that's why St. Rita will back up 5. Ball goes back to the Loyola 49-yard line.
As you mentioned, Jim, it's very important for St. Rita to get off to a good start against Loyola because Loyola plays such very solid defense. Long drives are not usually the case against them.
Crum comes to the near side of the field. Mister has Miles in the backfield behind him. Mister, quarterback draw, has room, he'll have a first down. Now it's a sprint for the end zone. He's past the 20. Look at Tommy Mister go into the end zone for a touchdown, 49 yards, and St. Rita strikes first against the undefeated Loyola Ramblers.
That was a great play call and just better execution. If we see this play from the end zone, you'll see it. Actually, all it is really a trap option for the quarterback. And he just does a great job of getting up the middle of the field, but also the lineman did a super job. LePrin made the trap block, number 55, and number 57, Simon Flores blocked back down. That was a great job by the offensive line of springing him loose. Now you can see what we're talking about. When he's in the open field, say goodbye.
He just ran away from people, Jack. It looked like somebody might catch him. He just dropped that gear shift into 5th gear and took off. Extra point by John Kelly is good. St. Rita, they could not have had a better start than they got on their opening drive.
Right in the middle of the field, you see the fake here. There's the trap block right there. There's the speed and the cutback. That's why he is being recruited and has committed to Iowa State University. They're thinking about playing him as a running back, and I can see and understand why. At 6'2", 210 pounds with that kind of speed, you can see right there. A little straight arm. He runs away from the defenders. He's an outstanding high school football player.
Already, and we are just 3 minutes, 36 seconds into the game, St. Rita has matched or beaten the point output of 4 of Loyola's 9 opponents this year.
Well, you get a big play like that, and we talked about this early in the open, was about the spreading them out and see how they could do against the balance of Loyola's defense.
Let's go down to Mark Kruger. Mark?
All right, Jim, thank you very much. You know, Loyola won the last 6 meetings between these two teams, and in those 6 games, St. Rita averaging less than 10 points per game. Offensively, Jim, missing some key guys. Malik Space, the wide receiver, out with an MCL. He'll be back next week. Xavier Allen, torn labrum. He is out for the year. Also, Tyree Lee, Jim, he's on crutches on the sidelines here. He's out with a leg injury. I just got done talking to him. He doesn't think he will be back for the rest of the year. So a lot of pressure on Tommy Mister, Jim.
All right, Mark, thank you very much. And an interesting choice by St. Rita on the kickoff going into the wind. What they decide to do is hang it up in the air, and maybe a little bit of a mistake there because remember, you can fair catch a kickoff. Bobby Walker lost it for a moment but got it back. And on 1st down and 10 from their own 23-yard line, Loyola will spread it out with 5 receivers.
Trying to see what they're going to run the matchup as far as man-to-man when they run that motion man across.
Holly was the motion man. He's normally a running back. Thrown, and that was behind the intended target, Joe Dixon. Incomplete, 2nd down and 10.
And Joe Dixon was open. He was right between the outside linebacker and the safety. And that's a timing route right there. And, of course, he's been out 2 ball games, so you can see why he might be a little rusty at this point.
And also, Holly has missed a couple of games as well with an injury, and now he lines up in the backfield right with Penn. Dixon goes in motion. He'll provide a little extra blocking, so it's a running play. Julius Holly trying to get outside. Got a few yards out to the 26-yard line. That's a gain of 3 on the play. It will bring up 3rd down and 7, so St. Rita on defense forces Loyola into long yardage on their first set of downs in the game.
Right there, Julius Holly. He's got to have a big game tonight, Jim. I don't think that he's lived up to his expectations for this year. He has 482 yards and 5 touchdowns coming in this game, but I think they expected a lot more out of that senior at 205 pounds.
Joe Joyce is the lone receiver to the left, and he has single coverage at the bottom of your screen. And that's the direction that Penn will go, and he got it onto the hands of Joyce. He could not hang on. Ryan Price, who we saw have an unbelievable game earlier this year against Providence, he had the coverage. And again, the perfect start for Loyola, or for St. Rita continues. They score on their opening drive and force Loyola to go 3 and out on their first drive.
Just a slant route inside underneath the corner. He had good leverage. It was an excellent throw. Put the ball right on the money, just couldn't hang on to it. It's hard to tell whether the weather has something to do with that. But Loyola's forced to punt. And we know St. Rita's got some confidence now after that first long drive.
Here comes the rugby punt. That will be short. Bashina with a nice catch. It's a nice play. Something that always
You got a flag, Jim.
Something that always drives Jack nuts is the guys not catching the ball, but Bashina made a good catch. That flag went down right where the kicker is.
35-yard punt. We'll see what happens if it comes back. This is an interesting call because he actually now becomes a runner. So oftentimes, let's see, he was actually blocked in there, but the officials don't have the instant replay.
Running into the kicker, 5-yard penalty, 4th down.
It is not enough for a first.
That would have been a big, big play.
Yes. And it would have been a bit controversial as well. So Bashina will go back out onto the field. And Bobby Reedy now. Now, it's going to be interesting to see how Rita plays this because they know Reedy's going to take a couple of steps and do the rugby style kick. Rita's having a hard time getting the right guys onto the field. And they finally do get the right guys on. Reedy lets it go the conventional kick. That's a roller. Bashina, again, a good catch. Well, the penalty ends up netting Loyola 1 yard. Bashina earlier caught at the 39, caught that one at the 38. It's a 32-yard punt. Tommy Mister led the Mustangs on a touchdown drive in the opening drive of the game, and now he's back out there for the second time tonight with a 7-0 lead.
Great field position early. Excellent job of the fair catch on a punt, especially on AstroTurf. It's so very important. Let's see now if there was any adjustment whatsoever by Loyola because St. Rita really controlled the line of scrimmage on that last drive.
Tommy Mister showed why he'll be a running back at Iowa State next year. Mister, he will hand off Miles into the middle of that Loyola defense. It's Sullivan again with the initial hit. It's a gain on the play of about a yard, so it's going to be 2nd down and 9.
Normally, I wouldn't say that they could sustain this type of situation where on 1st down they're only getting 2 yards, but when you have the threat of Mister in the backfield, that kind of changes the dynamic and certainly the playbook and the play calls. But most teams can't afford to only get 2 yards on 1st down.
What a confidence builder that first drive was for the Mustangs. Crum in the slot to the right. Gaston is wide to the right. Crum goes in motion now to try and drag a defender with him, and that singles up Gaston. And it will be Mister on a keeper. Has room again at the middle of the field. Here goes Tommy Mister again. It's a race to the corner of the end zone, and Mister will win it. This time he takes it 60 yards for a touchdown. Tommy Mister, 2 touchdown runs this game so far, covering a total of 109 yards in less than 6 minutes. St. Rita leads it 13-0.
That was basically the exact same play that he had the touchdown run on earlier. Nice job up front, but just a better job of Mister turning on the speed and cutting back. And Loyola's going to have to make some big adjustments right now to try and stop Mister. They're trying to keep the linebackers inside. They didn't make major adjustments when they went to the spread and kind of took those flankers outside. They kept 2 linebackers inside to stop Mister, but apparently they're going to need 3.
High snap on the extra point, but the kick is up, and it is good. A stunner so far here at St. Rita. Not that the Mustangs are winning, but the fact that they have just diced up this Loyola defense early for 2 long touchdown runs and a 14-0 lead.
Now you see the fake right there. It kind of got our cameraman as well as the defenders from Loyola. Just an excellent job by Mister and the running backs with the option fake, and he takes off. And once he's past the linebackers, he's gone. Right there's the fake. Good job. Linebackers close on him, and he's got the ball, as you can see, going right up the middle of the field. They're not going to catch him. He kind of slows down right here, which kind of surprised me. Well, this is a stunner so far, Jim, that they're bounced on him that quickly.
Goldsmith. He'll kick it a little bit deeper this time, and the ball taken at the 15-yard line. They try the return up the middle of the field, and not a whole lot there, but the ball comes out to the 30-yard line before the return stops. Was Patty Nicolau on the return, and now Loyola comes onto the field, trailing by 2 touchdowns. Jack Penn with Holly in the backfield. Loyola went 3 and out on their first possession. Penn fakes to Holly, throws it quickly, has a man, and again, there on the coverage is Ryan Price. He knocked it away from the intended receiver, Fran O'Malley.
This was kind of a dangerous throw right here, but it's part of their package. A little fake, and he throws back, but they're playing man coverage, and he's right on top of him.
O'Malley had a huge game against Mount Carmel that we didn't get to see the finish of. That was that rainy Saturday.
A lot of lightning
around the Chicagoland area. 2nd down and 10. That's Holly going in motion. Now 4 receivers out to the right side of the formation. Roll out by Penn. He takes a look. Really doesn't have anybody open. Throws. And that was a nice job of route running by O'Malley because he was not open, but he stayed with the route, made a nice catch. And for the first time in the game, Loyola will move the chains.
Interesting, you get a left-handed going to his right. They only put pressure. You can see basically it's just one man. Everybody else is dropping, but just an excellent hands catch right there. That's how you're taught to do it. Good throw, good catch.
So Loyola marching toward midfield now, and they will give, and it will be Holly, has some room, gets out to midfield before he's brought down. That's a gain of 8. 2nd down and 2 coming up. Miles was in the neighborhood for the tackle.
In many cases, you can tell when a running back carries the ball for the first time in a ball game. How he carries himself, what he gains, has a lot to do with how he's going to continue in the ball game. And that was a good surge right there by Holly. Picked up 8 yards, and he ran hard for it, so maybe it's something we're going to see for the rest of the ball game.
2nd and short, so Loyola has a chance to go deep into the playbook if they would like to, and they bring in a couple of tight ends in this formation. They'll give it to Holly. Turns upfield, made a nice cut to get through the hole. He'll take it across the 45 down to the 43-yard line. Matthew Mitchell among those in on the tackle for St. Rita, but now Loyola has something working after a couple of first downs and their first trip into St. Rita territory. They're very quickly back to the line.
Maybe I was a little hard on Holly the last few games when we had seen him. He was out with a bad ankle on several different occasions. And, of course, with a running back, that has a lot to do with pushing off and then also lowering your shoulder and getting those extra yards after the first initial hit.
Joe Joyce goes in motion. Here's Holly again. Right side, had a big hole, got through it quickly, goes down to the 37-yard line. He was brought down on the play by Daniel Gleaves. The formations you're seeing out of Loyola now, Jack, it shows you one of the reasons why the Ramblers are so hard to play against. They come out spreading it out 5 wides. Now they've gone to extra linemen. They only have 2 receivers in the game and 1 back.
And you can see the hole right there. Just a nice job on the right side, and also by the big tight end, number 9, Joe Dixon. He's got a kick-out block right there. When you can pick up 5 yards on first down, it's so very crucial to keep a drive going.
Loyola will now go back to 4 receivers, 3 of them left. Penn looks left, fires, has a completion, and he'll have another first down. Nice throw on time. Got it out quickly to Bobby Walker, and Loyola on the march.
Now that's one of Loyola's favorite plays, is the bubble screen going in either direction. It's not a high percentage pass as far as going down the field, but it can result in a big play if blocks are made downfield.
All sorts of different looks on this possession by itself by the Loyola offense. 3 receivers to the right this time. That's the wide side of the field. Holly in the game. Penn fakes. He throws, and that pass was a little bit dangerous. He had 3 receivers in the area, but he also had 3 blue-shirted Mustang defenders in the neighborhood as well. Joe Joyce, at the bottom of the screen, he has single coverage. Penn looks that way. One in and out of the hands of Joe Joyce. Had him for a moment, and we've seen Loyola do that now a couple of times where they work to get single coverage on Joyce, and they've missed him both times.
Well, there should have been a little more touch on this ball. He had a great move downfield, and he was open. Just a little too much zip on that football. Should have been caught. Could have been 6 for Loyola, which they need right now to get back in the ball game.
Jack Maroney, the starting left tackle for Loyola, comes out of the game. And again, Ryan Price, he was unbelievable, as I said, in that game earlier in the year against Providence. He had 2 interceptions in that game. He's got 3 on the season. Now Loyola facing a 3rd down and 10 from the St. Rita 31. This drive started at the Loyola 31. This is play number 9 in the drive. Joyce goes to the right. There are no receivers to the left. Penn rolls left, takes a look. He fires, has a man. It's Dixon. He'll have a first down to the 18-yard line. He's brought down by Gleaves. Nice play by the Ramblers to convert a 3rd down and long and keep the drive alive.
What they did there is they just took the wide receiver and they took him off down the field to get the corner out of there, and then Dixon, as the tight end, just went out in the flat that was cleared out by the wide receiver. No corner there, wide open.
Bobby Walker lines up as a tight end to the right side. 3 receivers left for Loyola. 1st down and 10 from the Rita 19. Dixon singled up at the top of the screen now. Holly, he'll run it to the right side, takes it inside the 15-yard line, and then takes the rest of the pile with him down to the 10. It's going to be just short, I believe, of another first down, but this is where Loyola is going to be really dangerous now. Second down and about a yard from the 10-yard line.
Looks like Holly's ankle's okay.
Yep, he looks good.
That was an excellent run, 205 pounds. It's always good to see the extra yardage after the initial hit.
Buscaglia is the lone receiver at the top of the formation. Penn looks left, fires quickly. And, boy, you talk about almost picked off. Daniel Gleaves, who's had a great season. He is just a sophomore. He's been marvelous since getting into the starting lineup for the Mustangs.
Just looking for the quick bubble screen. He had that read the whole time. He's been watching film during the week because he knows that they usually run that off of this option fake. Come back to the short side of the field.
He kind of got interfered with there, didn't he?
Well, a little bit. Could have gone in either direction there, but an excellent play right there.
Third down and 1. Holly, the lone running back. Penn's a threat to run as well. They'll give to Holly. He tries the right side. The Rita defense, nice job of taking care of that. Matthew Mitchell makes the initial hit, but it looks like it will be enough for a first down.
You get in behind that big offensive line for Loyola. Good sized line. Watch on the right side right there. Good contact, people sustaining their blocks. And that's what you want to have happen. Now, that offensive line for Loyola's averages 246 pounds. That's a good-sized high school offensive line.
Buscaglia top of the screen, and you have Dixon, Joyce, and Bobby Walker on the left, and now Walker comes in motion. Maybe a blocker for Holly on a running play. They'll give it to Holly. He went right behind Walker, and he's turned back at the point of contact. He's got about a yard and a half on the play down to the 7-yard line. Second down and goal for Loyola.
So far in this drive, St. Rita really has not moved 2 of their inside linebackers. Loyola's given them all kinds of formations, 4 receivers on one side, a running back on another side, but they've kept their 2 inside linebackers, as you can see in that shot, right inside between the tackles.
Same formation as the previous play, but no motion man. Penn swings it out. Holly out of the backfield. Couldn't hang on. Incomplete. Third down and goal from the 7.
And the guy that had Holly coming out of the backfield was one of those inside linebackers. So I think the coaches upstairs saw that and said, get Holly in the flat because those linebackers are staying tight inside. Been a little softer throw. He might have picked up 6.
Ramblers trailing by 14. St. Rita with 2 long Tommy Mister touchdown runs. Loyola with a long drive of their own, looking to punch it into the end zone and cut the lead in half if they can. 2 receivers right, Buscaglia and Dixon. Penn looking right, goes to the back of the end zone, and it is caught. Touchdown Loyola. What a great grab by Joe Dixon. 7-yard touchdown pass. Loyola an extra point away from making this a 14-7 game.
They like to go to Dixon down in the red zone because he's 6'3". And so what'll happen there is he's going to get matched up against a much smaller defensive back. And that's just a good throw by Jack Penn, knowing exactly where to put the football. If he doesn't go up and get it at 6'3", the ball goes out of bounds and they get another shot at it. Excellent play, excellent call.
Kerzlowski in to attempt the extra point. He has the wind at his back. Really just has to get it on line and pop it up in the air. It'll go through. That drive started back at the Loyola 31-yard line, and the kick is up, and it is through. 14-7. You know, Jack, interesting drive by Loyola from this standpoint. Kickoff. Loyola kicking with the wind, and that'll be a touchback, as dropping his foot back into the end zone was Crum. So St. Rita now, they get the ball on their own 20-yard line. They have 2 minutes, 6 seconds left to go into the wind. So if Loyola can force a 3-and-out here, maybe they might get a couple more plays with the wind in this quarter.
Right now, the offensive people are down, all huddled around the offensive coach, the defensive people making adjustments. And while they were out in the field, the offensive players were. So that's the advantage of platoon football. You can make adjustments on the fly during a particular series.
Miles will get the carry. He squirted through the initial hit. Sullivan finally brings him down, but it's going to be a gain of about, I'll give him 3 on the play. Second down and 7. Clock will run. One thing we should point out, too, is that the wind will be a factor, and yet St. Rita scored twice going into the wind here in the first quarter.
This is a good job cut back here by DJ Miles, 185-pound senior. He contributes about 50 yards a game, but they're really hurting with Tyree Lee out of the ball game because he was the other bookend running back that kind of helped Mister balance out that backfield.
But they put 2 running backs into the game on this play. Jovan Sparks comes into the game for the first time tonight. but it will be Miles on the carry, and he takes it out to about the 25-yard line. So it's going to be 3rd down and 5, and we'll be inside of a minute when St. Rita runs their next play. This is one of the rare high school stadiums that has a play clock.
And that is such a great advantage to the quarterbacks, obviously, on either side. So if they had to audible, they know exactly how much time they still have left.
Inside of a minute to go. Crum goes in motion to the left. Mister. Quarterback draw. Comes up the middle, trying to find an opening. He does, at least enough to get out to the 33-yard line. He'll move the chains. Another first down for the St. Rita offense. They'll probably have to run at least one more play before the end of the quarter. I would think, Jack, they want to try and milk this thing down and only have to run one more play.
I'm sure they will, but that's the same play that he ran for 60 yards in a TD earlier. So they have certain plays that they want to run with him, but they set him up with other plays. So those linebackers get somewhat confused. And if he does a good job of faking with the football, he's going to have quite a few more big runs tonight.
Sparks into the game along with Miles in the backfield. New set of downs for St. Rita. Mister drops back, looks, wants to throw. Nobody open. Scrambles out of the pocket. Here comes the Loyola defense. Good choice by Mister there. There's nothing there. No sense in taking a big hit. Got up near the line of scrimmage, jumped out of bounds, lost a yard on the play, but you know what? If the play is not there, live to fight another down, 2nd and 11. 10 seconds remaining in the quarter. 2nd down and 11. Mister better hurry and get this off. He does, and they'll keep it on the ground. They'll give it to Miles. He'll take it out to about the 33-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd down and 10 coming up. That's the final play of the opening quarter in this Catholic League Blue championship game. St. Rita, 2 long touchdown runs by Tommy Mister on their first 2 possessions. They lead at 14-7. Mark, thank you on 3rd down and 10.
5-yard penalty, 3rd down.
St. Rita will turn it into 3rd down and 15. Remember, if Loyola wins this game, they'll win the Catholic League Blue outright. If St. Rita wins, it's a 3-way tie between Mount Carmel, St. Rita, and Loyola. And Mount Carmel has finished the year 8-1. They were a winner today over Leo by a final score of 59-13. So Mount Carmel, at worst, will be the 4th seed in 7A. Whitney Young already won today. They finished the year undefeated. They will likely be 3. Edwardsville and Lake Zurich are trying to finish off undefeated seasons tonight. Mister back to throw, 3rd down and a lot of yardage, goes over the middle. Has John Ladd. He had it for a moment. He got drilled at the 41-yard line by Jack Gleason. Ball comes out. Time to punt for St. Rita.
Real interesting here. They didn't put a lot of pressure on Mister. You notice how they contained right here. That tackle wasn't trying to get to him. He was trying to keep him in the pocket. But here's a tremendous hit right here. The ball was being bobbled, but big hit right there. Kind of interesting coming into that particular drive. St. Rita has been 3 for 3 on 3rd down, and they haven't been in other games we've seen that effective early.
First punt of the game. Anthony Walker deep to receive for Loyola. Nick Goldsmith will punt it away. He has pretty decent breeze. I'm going to guess around the neighborhood of 11 or 12 miles an hour at his back. It's definitely helping him, but it's going to push the ball toward the far side of the field. Good tall kick. Nice spiral. Taken at the 25-yard line. Coverage pretty decent at first, and we have seen the St. Rita punt return coverage a couple of times this year. They have been marvelous. 47 yards on that punt. Coverage by Tom Brennan.
He is very poised, is that way in the huddle with the other players. Everybody's under control.
Penn swings it out to Holly. He has some room up the sideline, forced out of bounds at the 38-yard line. Bashina pushed him out. It's going to be short of a first down by a couple of yards. 2nd down and 2. So the Loyola offense finding a little bit of rhythm right now as they try to get a second drive going in the right direction.
Well, right there, they're trying to get him out on a linebacker one-on-one in a flat because they're taking the receivers downfield and getting and spreading them out pretty good.
Penn gives to Holly. He'll try the left side. Not a hole out there. Lurkwin, Lungnose in on the tackle. It will be a first down. Got enough.
Julius Holly is running a lot better than we've seen him before. I'm sure it probably had an awful lot to do with that bad ankle that he had earlier in a couple of the ball games that we did. But he is a very important factor in their offense.
Holly in motion. Will they swing it to him? Penn sets up an inside screen to the flanker. Pescaglia has it, and he'll take it out to the 46-yard line. He's held up by Machina until the help can get there. The ball came out, and the Mustangs have it. There is no signal indicating that it is St. Rita football. They rule that Pescaglia was down at the 47-yard line. It's going to be 2nd down and 4.
Just prior to this, you can see, is he still standing when that's pulled out? That's the whole concept. When you gang tackle, yep, it's down. It's down, but he must have called to stop the whistle with the forward progress.
First time they've swung Holly out of the backfield and not thrown it to him.
But that's the threat of getting those linebackers to move when they get the back out in the flat.
Holly will carry it again and didn't get a big head of steam going before he was yanked down from behind. Mitchell was there on the tackle, but getting there first to just kind of slow him up was John Connolly. 3rd down and about 4 coming up as you take a look at John Holisek over on the Loyola sideline.
Look at his demeanor. Very calm, very relaxed. And his players feed off of that. They're
Penn
the same way.
Is going to roll to his right, looking for Pescaglia. He's covered. Penn can run it. He will. And again, good to see a smart quarterback. Got the yardage he needed for the first, got out of bounds. 1st down and 10 for Loyola from the St. Rita 46.
And what he's doing right there, a lot of quarterbacks will try to get the ball down the field and force the throw in there and have a turnover. He knows exactly what he needs for the 1st down, and those receivers spin around and start blocking for him. He picks up a 1st down.
Penn with 3 receivers to the left this time. And he'll give it to Holly, trying to cut outside. Mitchell slowed him down a little bit. Holly got back to the line of scrimmage before he gets turned back. He actually gained about a yard to the 45-yard line. It will be 2nd down and 9 coming up with under 10 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter.
Just based on this 1st quarter and what we've gone through in the 2nd quarter here, St. Rita is a different team than we've seen prior. When we saw them against Mount Carmel and we also saw them against Providence, completely different looking team.
Against Mount Carmel, couldn't do anything right. Against Providence, couldn't do anything wrong. They were amazing that night. Bunch formation for Loyola. First time we've seen this tonight. And that brings a lot of guys into the box. Penn back to throw, fakes a man off his feet, pulls it down, and ends up losing about a yard on the play. John Connolly got in there for the tackle. It's going to be 3rd down and 10.
It's a good job right there of keeping the quarterback inside. Anytime you have quarterbacks that can scramble, you don't want those tackles to get too far up the field because that creates seams and they can get in between them and scramble. So they're doing a nice job of containing both quarterbacks on both sides of the field.
4 receivers to the right. Penn goes that way. Pescaglia was on his knees trying to grab onto it. Couldn't get the handle on it. Gleaves was on the coverage. It's going to be 4th down and 10 for Loyola from the St. Rita 46.
He goes down right there. You can see he gets knocked down prior to the route. And in some cases that might have been interference, but the ball, not sure the officials thought it was in the air or not.
Time to see how good your punter can be. Bushina will be deep to receive this kick. Bobby Reedy is going to have to punt it into the wind. This can be a dangerous kick because if you get it up in the wind, it's going to be short. Reedy, the rugby kick again, trying to get it away from Bushina and get the coverage down the field, and he did exactly that, and he gets a friendly roll, and the ball will roll and come to a stop at the St. Rita 15-yard line. So a good kick by Reedy, and the Loyola defense will come back out onto the field with 8.5 left in the 2nd quarter. 39 yards on the kick. 1st down and 10. Here's Mr. Quarterback draw. A little bit of room. That closed very, very quickly. Mr. will take it up to about the 16-yard line. That's a gain of 1. It's 2nd down and 9.
You can only go to the well so often. Loyola would rather have him throw the football than run the football. So they're going to take away the run the best they can, and that draw was very effective in the 1st quarter. And so they made some adjustments when they came off the field, and they're going to keep that those 3 linemen in a contain mode. They want him to throw the football rather than run it.
Remember, St. Rita is only 1 year removed from missing the playoffs last year. That was the first time in 12 years that had happened to the Mustangs. But they'll be in the playoffs when the pairings get announced tomorrow night. Question is, how high will their seed be? Mr. I don't think that was a design quarterback draw. He got away for a little while, battles back to the line of scrimmage, and it's going to end up being a gain of about a couple of yards out to the 18-yard line, but it brings up 3rd down and 7. Among those in on the tackle for the Loyola Ramblers was Tim Sullivan.
You can see right there how they're staying somewhat static on the line of scrimmage. They're not getting too far up the field. When oftentimes when you do that, creates big running lanes for the quarterback. But if you play the defensive line somewhat static and not put too much pressure on them, that is a better situation defensively to contain a running quarterback.
What a great hustle play by Sullivan. He made the initial hit in the backfield on Mister. Mister got away, and then Sullivan jumped up and then brought Mister to the ground to end the play. 3rd down and 7. Mister back to pass. Loyola keeps him in the pocket. Fires, has a man. It's Crum at midfield trying to run away from the defense, but gets hauled down from behind at the Loyola 40-yard line. Touchdown saving play by Ryan Zinkola, 42 yards in the completion. So for the 3rd time in this game, Loyola gets a play that covers more than 40 yards.
Well, with that formation, with the 2 backs there, that got single coverage right there. He got the inside leverage on him, and a very good throw. Again, going to the middle of the field. That's where he's the most effective. Not up the sidelines, but in the middle of the field between the hash marks. Good route, excellent throw.
Even if St. Rita does not score in this possession, they tilt the field. That was a big completion. Mister hands to Miles. He got spun around. Mister kept it, spun around and got down to the 35-yard line. It's a gain of 4. It's going to be 2nd down and 6 coming up. It was Brock Hardwick making the tackle for Loyola.
When Tommy Mister was at Richards last year, now he transferred to St. Rita in the middle of the year last year, but last season when he was at Richards, he had over 1,000 yards rushing and 10 touchdowns. So they knew how effective he was at Richards, but St. Rita really knew when they got him in January what kind of a football player they're going to get.
Miles and Sparks standing in the backfield with Tommy Mister. Mister wants to throw. Gaston had to come back for the football to the point where he did not get the 1st down. Ball's at the 30-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 1.
You want to make sure that you get the football to good, quick receivers so that they can run after the catch. Oftentimes, great catches need not to be made. If they could be good catches, I want that kid to catch and run after, and especially with his speed. He's an excellent open field runner.
3rd down and 1. Sparks and Miles in the backfield.
Again, this balances the run game for St. Rita and keeps Loyola in tight.
Everybody watching Tommy Mister right now. And it will be Miles, and he will not get there. Turned away at the 30-yard line. May have actually lost a yard on the play. Brian O'Brien among those in on the tackle for Loyola. 4th down and 1 for St. Rita. Now remember, I told you before the game, Goldsmith was absolutely hammering the kicks going in this direction. If you try to field goal from here, it would be about 48 yards. Awful long way for a high school kicker.
Well, the other part of it is when he was hammering him in pregame, there was nobody rushing.
That's right.
That makes a big difference.
And there was no long snap and there was no hold. 4th down and 1. Rita will go for it, leading 14-7. Mister back to pass. Wanted to swing it out. That was covered. Has to drop it downfield. Has Ladd wide open. Taken down at the 5-yard line by Jack Gleason. But a broken play for St. Rita. Tommy Mister stays with it. Gets a 1st down. It's 1st and goal from the 5-yard line. 27 yards on that gain. 4:18 remaining in the 2nd quarter.
Not designed this way. He was going this way. You can see him start scrambling. And all of a sudden now it's playground football. But a smart wide receiver. When he's scrambling, he was running the short route. When there's a scramble from short, you go deep. And that's exactly what he did. The cornerback got caught up watching Tommy Mister. Results in a 27-yard gain.
Into the red zone for St. Rita.
Heck of a drive. This series started on the 5. This is their 8th play in this drive, Jim.
Mister he keeps it. Miles went right. Mister went off right tackle. He'll take it down inside the 5-yard line to about the 2. 2nd down and goal.
Physically, when you get down in the red zone, Miles is only 185 pounds. Tommy Mister's 210. So it's like having a fullback. And of course, he's 6'2", and he's got a running start because he's back in the spread formation about 5 yards. So sometimes it makes sense.
St. Rita will send 3 receivers to the left. Miles is the lone back in the backfield. Mister quarterback draw. He goes essentially up the middle. He tries to get the ball over the goal line, and he did. Touchdown, St. Rita. And the Mustangs an extra point away from having their lead back up to 14 points.
Well, Jim, you know I've talked about this before. That ball was on the 1 yard line, and when you stay in the spread formation, it's not 1 yard to go for the touchdown. When he's back at 6 and 7, it's 7 or 8 yards to go for the touchdown. He was very fortunate that he got in there. That takes longer time for the offensive line to sustain their blocks when they're on the 1 and the quarterback's on the 7. So I'm not a big fan of the spread down in the red zone. I'd rather have him go into the right under center.
3rd rushing touchdown of the game for Tommy Mister. His 20th rushing touchdown of the year. Goldsmith in to attempt the extra point, and that kick is just absolutely killed. Looked like one of Jack McInerney's drives yesterday. 21-7 St. Rita.
Initially, when I had heard about him, I thought, well, maybe he's the kind of player sometimes will have great games against lesser competition, but he has shown us that he plays football extremely well. He has big games against everybody.
So it was Kelly who made the extra point, by the way. Let me correct that. It's Goldsmith that puts that kickoff through the back of the end zone. Mister so far in the game, passing, which is supposed to be the weaker part of his game, 4 out of 6 for 94 yards. His rushing, which is an obvious strength, 10 carries, 135 yards. So Tommy Mister has it working tonight. 3:06 and 3 timeouts left for Loyola. And nice pass to Dixon. He just sits down right at the 25-yard line. Ball right on the money from Penn. Out to the 27. It's 2nd down and 3. And remember, Loyola won the toss and deferred. So they could be looking at getting 2 consecutive possessions here.
Loyola is very methodical. Excellent play calling by the offensive coordinator. Do a nice job of versatility here.
Penn drops back quickly. He'll run for it, and he only got about a yard in that play, so he is short of the 1st down. Tackle on the play made by Servando Duran. Clock running. We're inside of 2.5 minutes remaining now. Huge play for St. Rita if they can get a stop here, because they would get one more chance with the ball, with the win here in the 2nd quarter, if they can force Loyola to punt.
St. Rita's defense has been very good tonight.
Penn. This time they keep it on the ground. Nothing there. Haley got the carry. He did not get the 1st down. We should mention St. Rita has all 3 of their timeouts. They will burn one here to give themselves optimum amount of time going with the win. And check that was Holly on the carry.
Great job right there by number 44 coming up and stuffing him, Matthew Mitchell, the 220-pound junior. Excellent job right there.
Now.
That was a big play. I would be surprised if he does the rugby kick.
He will run it. He'll fake it, and he is not going to get it. Stopped at the 28. The ball came out. And even though Loyola recovers it, they mark the ball dead at the 28-yard line. John Holisek, he'll go for those, and it is going to give St. Rita great field position, already up 2 scores with less than 2 minutes to go here in the 2nd quarter.
Well, St. Rita obviously had him well scouted, because John Regan, number 43, stepped right up in that seam and made the play. And right here, he had no intention of ever punting it. I'm really surprised at this call this early in the game in this kind of field position to give St. Rita the ball back, especially as effective as they've been thus far in this first half.
Interesting that St. Rita was ripping at the ball there. They ripped it out, and they almost cost themselves possession there. That was a really interesting play. 1st down and 10 from the 28-yard line of Loyola for the Mustangs. Mister gives it to Miles. Nothing there. Stopped at the 30-yard line. 2 timeouts remaining for St. Rita. Not time to use one here, obviously. It's actually a loss of a yard on the play back to the 30-yard line.
Using up a lot of time getting these plays in. Should usually in situations like this have 2 plays that you're going to call.
Well, if you're Rita, you want to be careful here that you don't give the ball back to Loyola, because, again, they'll get the ball to start the 2nd half. So if they get positive yardage here, you may see a timeout.
You can see the spy right there on Mister. They're playing man coverage.
And That is really what you don't want for St. Rita, because they let the clock run, and because they had a little confusion on the play, they have to end up using a timeout anyway, so they burn a lot of time. The clock goes down to 1:09, and now they only have one timeout, and they're looking at a 2nd down and 11. 5 receivers into the game for St. Rita. Mister, he'll fake it, he'll run it up the middle, and he's not even going to get close.
That linebacker closed down right from the outside from the get-go. He didn't fall for that fake one bit.
Sullivan there again, along with most of the defensive line, including Charlie Pontarelli. Clock is running. We're inside of a minute. Neither team wants to stop it. Now, remember, Goldsmith has a pretty good leg. You can try a field goal even from this far out. Miles is in an eye. We have 3 receivers out to the right. Mister, back to pass. Now he wants to run with it. Sullivan tripped him up, and then going down the 26-yard line is Mister. So if you try a field goal from here, it's 43 yards, and the clock will run. The Mustangs making no motion to stop it right now. They're going to run at least one more play, but let's see if it's going to be Hail Mary into the end zone or if they will try a field goal.
If they're going to run another play, they're certainly not getting in, so they're running the clock down.
They're going to run it down to probably 3 seconds. There goes the whistle, 2.9, and they will indeed try the field goal. So a lot of linemen and linebacker numbers out there, and Goldsmith will put the ball down at the 33-yard line. 43-yard field goal attempt coming up for Kelly.
This is going to add an awful lot psychologically to St. Rita, the way they came out in the first quarter, scored twice, and now finishing it up.
A little bit slow in getting the hold down, but Goldsmith got it down. It's up, and it is good. 43-yard field goal as time runs out here in the first quarter. And I would imagine if you went and proposed a perfect scenario to Todd Kusko about how a first half might go, it would be exactly the one we just saw. St. Rita really had everything go their way. They executed well. Let's go down in the field. Here is Mark Kruger. Mark?
All right, Jim, thank you very much. Here with Coach Kusko of St. Rita. Coach, so far so good. I have to ask you, a little over 4 minutes to go at the 31-yard line, 4th and short. How difficult of a decision was it to go for it there?
Well, we didn't feel that we were going to be able to, we weren't sure if we would get the field goal. A couple more yards, we would have been good. We figured let's just go for it. Let's try it. Defense has been playing pretty well, so give our guys a shot here and make a play. And they did. It was a big play by our guys.
How do you hold this lead now in the second half?
By tackling and keeping them in bounds, and just playing offense. We got to get a stop on the next the opening kickoff, and just keep scoring, keep the offense going. When our offense is on the field, they can't score. So just keep doing what we're doing.
Thanks for your time, Coach.
Thank you. Thanks.
All right, and don't forget you can catch all the details of tonight's game in tomorrow morning's Chicago Sun-Times. You're watching the Game of the Week right here on the YouTube.
Hello, Todd Kuska, St. Rita football head coach here. Just want to say hello to you guys, and because of the great response we've had from the St. Rita replays that we've been running on Friday nights, we thought it'd be a great opportunity to give everybody an opportunity to take and have one of these helmets at home with them in their man cave, on their dresser, on their bar, as kind of a remembrance to the glory days back when you guys were playing football. We have a limited amount of supply available. These will be refurbished helmets with brand new decals and everything, restriped for everybody, and it will be a great fundraiser for the St. Rita football program. $75 is the cost. You can find the link on our website, and we urge you to go ahead and take part in this fundraiser if you want to. There is a limited amount of supplies, so we look forward to this. Thanks for joining us on the Rita Replays. Look forward to seeing you guys all here at St. Rita watching football games as soon as possible. Go Mustangs!
Hi, welcome to St. Rita High School. My name is Ed Weiser, Director of Admissions here at St. Rita. I wanted to take a moment and invite all of our 8th graders out there to spend a shadow day here at St. Rita this fall. We know that it'll be a very unique fall for all of the schools, but we will be open here at Rita for shadow days, and our schedule is announced on our website. So come by one of these days and check out our school for an inside look as a shadow here at St. Rita. We also have great personal tour options, and you'll hear from Coach Russell about that next. Go Mustangs!
Hello, everyone. My name is Roshan Russell. I'm a proud 2008 graduate of St. Rita High School. I'm the Director of Enrollment and Head Varsity Basketball Coach. I want to take this time to invite you to sign up for a personal tour here at St. Rita. We offer tours around the clock. We feel like it's one of the best ways to learn about our great institution. Our goal is when you leave to make sure that all your questions are answered. I also want to encourage you to check out our calendar of events, and you'll hear more about that from our Assistant Director of Admissions, Mike Swanson.
Hi, I'm Mike Swanson, Assistant Admissions Director here at St. Rita High School. This fall, we have a lot of exciting events planned for prospective students. So check us out at stritahs.com for our full calendar of events. And you can see the mini open houses we have planned and the specialty nights that are new this year, highlighting things like academics, athletics, fine arts, and student life. So again, visit stritahs.com and click on the admissions tab. Come and check us out on campus. We'd love to see you here soon.
So Goldsmith will kick it off. Nicolau and Haley are deep to receive. So if Loyola is going to come back and win this game, they really the first stringers are going to have to score here. Well, that's what it sounds like.
And Penn did not have a real good first half. He was 7 for 14 for 64 yards and 1 touchdown, and that is not usually the production that he gives to Loyola.
Will this kick make it to the end zone? It will. So it's going to be a touchback. So the first stringers for Loyola, they better get it going right now. They trail by 17 points. By the way, this already, 24 points by St. Rita, is the largest amount of points that the Loyola Ramblers have given up in a game this season.
Well, their defense all year has been outstanding. They've been averaging in their 8 games coming into this ball game only 8.8 points per game by their opponents.
Loyola will, to make it even more difficult, will have to go into an ever-stiffening breeze that's right into their faces as they try to go from north to south here at St. Rita. Opening drive of the second half. Penn back to throw. Everything's covered, and that ball will very nearly be picked off. Ryan Price got his hands on it. He wouldn't have been in bounds anyway. He just ran out of real estate. So incomplete to start off the second half for Loyola, 2nd down and 10.
St. Rita's somewhat running the same defense against Penn as Loyola is running against Mister, and that's making a static front by the defensive lineman so he can't scramble because he is a very good runner.
As far as seedings go, this could turn out to be a big night for St. Rita. We'll give you more on that in just a second. 2nd down and 10. Penn looking, finding nobody open, fires it out to the sideline. Got it to Joe Dixon. He'll hop out of bounds at the 26-yard line, 3rd and 4. And the reason why it could be a big night for seeding for St. Rita, they're winning their game, and Lake Zurich, who is undefeated and ahead of St. Rita in 7A, they're in a battle tonight with Stevenson. That game's 17-14 Lake Zurich at the half. 3rd down and 3 officially for Loyola.
It's always interesting. Everything comes down to the last night.
It always does.
The 9th week.
Penn rolls out to his left, giving chase from behind is Connolly, and that ball is complete, and Joe Dixon is behind the defense, and this is going to be a 73-yard touchdown scoring play, and Loyola is back in it. So O'Malley hauls it in from 73 yards out, and that kick hits the upright and is no good.
That was an 80-yard touchdown pass, 73-yard pass. Took 3 plays. This is just a scramble right here. You can see almost got a hole, but he's looking downfield the whole time he's getting pressure, and he just gets it over the top. Nice touch on that pass right there, and that got Loyola back in the ball game, but the extra point certainly didn't help. It's one thing if it's in a ball game where it's a rout, but it's another thing when it's in a tight ball game.
Got a rather interesting contest going on right here. They'll keep it on the ground and bat it around. Price had it in his hands for a moment. Miles picks it up, and then he'll be taken down at the 27-yard line. So the Loyola defense now, they need to get a 3-and-out if they can get it and get the ball back for their offense. Johnny Burns makes the tackle on special teams, and Tommy Mister, perfect, I think, is the way you can describe his performance in the opening half.
Well, I find it interesting that the very first time he played for St. Rita down at Soldier Field this year, he had a great football game. And all of a sudden now this is his last game of the regular season, and he right to this point is having another outstanding football game.
But St. Rita wants to, they really just like to get a drive here. They just chew up a lot of time, and They just take it down the field methodically, but they have not shown the ability to do that because Mister has been so explosive, and he's explosive again right here. He's caught in the backfield. He stays in the field of play. He's got a first down, takes it out to the 47-yard line before he's brought down. Brian O'Brien on the tackle, but Tommy Mister somehow gets away and then somehow stayed in bounds for a 19-yard gain.
These are just things you can't teach, you can't coach. He's just a natural athlete. There's the ride on the option. He comes back outside and just scrambles. You can see the quickness right there. Good move. Comes back up inside. That's just playground football right there.
Now, Tommy obviously did not join the U2 crew in dining before the game because 115 Bourbon Street, boy, they set us up. There was so much food in there. And so Tommy wouldn't be running that fast if he ate with us tonight. We want to thank 115 Bourbon Street. They always take great care of us. First down and 10. And Miles moved forward when he went in motion, but that's not the call. The call is delay a game.
I mentioned, Jim, what a great game that Tommy Mister had his first game as a St. Rita football player in the very first ball game against Marist down in Soldier Field. He had 4 touchdowns and had total offense of 401 yards. He had 213 yards rushing on 31 carries. He had 188 yards passing on 9 of 17. So how impressive can that be in your initial debut to a high school that you transferred to? And now here he is in the 9th game of the season, the last regular season game, having another great game.
First down and 15. Crum goes in motion. That forces an adjustment by the Loyola defense. Mister drops back, wanted to run, trapped in the backfield, got rid of it. That will be incomplete. It's going to be second down and 15. Now, John Holisek talked in the interview with Mark at halftime about their seeding being set. Loyola right now is the number 1 team coming into this weekend in 8A, but if they lose this game, they only drop to number 2 at 8-1. So it really, as far as their seeding in 8A, this game really does not make that much of a difference. They have more playoff points than anybody in 8A.
Well, I think there was kind of a twinkle in Coach Holisek's eye there because I don't think that he wants to put the 2s in, nor does I think he wants to go down without a fight.
No.
He wants to win this football game desperately.
But I agree with him is like, look, if they don't get this down to striking distance by the end of this quarter, why would you keep all your starters in there? Miles has a hard time getting lined up, and it forces Loyola to take a timeout.
But he's not going to lose to go into the playoffs.
Second down and 15. Miles gets the carry. He spins away and keeps going all the way up to the 50-yard line where Sullivan finally brings him to a halt, but it's going to be third down and 7 for St. Rita. 10.5 minutes remaining, and Loyola, again, if they get a stop here, right back in it. Winner of this game is a Catholic League Blue champion. St. Rita wins it. They share the title with Loyola and Mount Carmel. Loyola wins it. They win it outright. The amazing stats coming into this game, Loyola 14 consecutive Catholic League Blue victories. It's just amazing. Mister, he'll keep. Has to do some getting away. Here he did. Tommy Mister was dead to rights in the backfield. Somehow he got away, and he'll have a first down at the Loyola 29-yard line. Well, I'll tell you what, Jack, if nothing else, there's a lot going down on tape for coaches in the playoffs to worry about with Tommy Mister.
No doubt about it. You can see they do a pretty good job right there initially, but poor tackles, and he's wide open. He gets past the linebackers, and it's Katie bar the door.
22 yards on the gain for Tommy Mister, and he's looking at potentially a 200-yard night rushing. He was well over 100 in the opening half.
Well, he's done this before. He had 182 yards rushing against Providence when they had that bounce-back game after losing to Mount Carmel where he only gained 48 yards.
179 yards rushing in the game for Mister. Tonight he throws here, got it to Gaston, and he has to come way back to catch that football. So it's a gain to the 25-yard line. It's going to be second down and about 6.
Kind of interesting how Mount Carmel really corralled Mister. He had 21 carries for 48 yards against Mount Carmel, and he had 10 passes through 25 passes for 154 yards. So they really corralled him, and he threw 2 interceptions. So then he bounces back the following week with a great week against Providence. So, you know, who's showing up? But this is the Tommy Mister, I think, that everybody thought he was.
9 minutes remaining in the third quarter. St. Rita driving. They lead it 24-13. They'll keep it on the ground here, and it's a nice carry. That's Javon Sparks taking it down to the 16-yard line. He'll have a first down. So St. Rita moves the chains and trying to get back their 3-score lead.
Nice run here by Javon Sparks. He's the fill-in for Tyree Lee, just running off tackle. There's a good move right there that got him open, was that initial bounce out of the off tackle. And that's exactly what they need. They need to have a complement to Mister between Miles and Sparks.
Tim Sullivan really piling up tackles right now in control of this game. Miles will shift. He'll go to the eye. Mister back to throw. Throws quickly. Gaston came back and got it. Can he get a first down? He's inside the 5. It will be first down and goal for St. Rita.
Kind of surprised, honestly, that Tommy Mister's throwing the football down in this area and doing it with a great deal of confidence. Just an out route. I mean, that's a long throw right there. A good catch, but he's not noted to be a great passer, but he's proving himself tonight. He's being very accurate. You can see right here. I mean, he's got to have the ball on the money right there. Good throw. Dangerous throw. Nice pickup, though.
Mark Dowdle makes the tackle. The series started back on the St. Rita 28, play number 8 in the drive. Miles, the lone running back. Ball sits on the 3-yard line. Mister, he'll keep, bounces it outside, trying to get to the end zone. He's in. Touchdown, Tommy Mister. His 4th rushing touchdown of the game. His 21st rushing touchdown of the season. And St. Rita up 30-13.
Tommy Mister Knight doing an outstanding job of leading St. Rita. This is shocking an awful lot of people that are here. He's just an outstanding athlete. I mean, he can hurt you with his feet, his arm. Running the option, it was just a great thing for St. Rita to do to initiate when he transferred in here, because they had 2 other really good running backs to go along with him. And what they lacked was that threat at quarterback. And he's truly a running back, but by putting him at quarterback, now he's the catalyst. He's touching the ball on every play.
Coming into this game, Loyola had only given up 71 points all year long. They have now given up 31 points in 24 minutes, or 28 minutes and 12 seconds of playing time. An unbelievable performance tonight by Loyola. And I would have to think, if you're Todd Kuska going into the playoffs, boy, this is the performance you want. Your guys are going to be all sorts of confident going into next week.
No doubt about it. This was just supposed to be that trap draw. And he just, being an athlete, bounced it outside with that speed. Everybody closes down inside, and he's got that athleticism to get outside and pick up the 6.
Goldsmith puts a lot of air underneath it. Is that going to get there? It will.
Yep.
That's all the carry with the wind. Boy, the wind has really picked up. 7:48 to go here in the 3rd quarter. Penn has 5 wide receivers, 1st and 10 for Loyola from their own 20-yard line. They have to throw it and throw it a lot. Biscaglia makes the reception at the 25-yard line, taken down by Price. Let's see where the spot is. If any part of the ball is touching the 30, it will be a first, but they're just short. 2nd down and 1.
That was just a double slant. He came in second, which cleared out that corner. Nice job, nice route.
Well, Loyola is going to be rearing back and throwing it looks like, every play. They keep the 5 receivers in the game. It'll keep Holly healthy, if nothing else. Little jump, and that'll be a free first down for the Loyola Ramblers.
Those are
defense, dead ball. Encroachment, defense, 5-yard penalty. That results in a first down.
4th penalty of the game against St. Rita.
And a silly penalty when the defensive lineman is basically right on the ball. Any coach will tell you that's the silliest penalty you can find in football.
We welcome the members of the Mount Carmel Caravan who are watching the game now after their victory over Loyola late this afternoon. Caravan finish 8-1. If this score holds, Loyola, St. Rita, and Mount Carmel will also all finish the season 8-1 overall.
And I believe they played at this moment, it was an undefeated Leo team, wasn't it?
They beat Leo last week. Yeah. Ball comes loose, and the Mustangs have it. At the 36-yard line. No, that was today, Jack. You're right. They beat Leo today. They played their last Catholic League Blue game last week, and it is St. Rita football. Everything going right for St. Rita, and just about everything going wrong right now for Loyola.
In our open, we talked about the excellent balance that Loyola has shown all year, offensively and defensively and special teams. And tonight they've they've really been kind of flat. Just a good hit right here. Excellent tackle. That's exactly the way you coach people to tackle.
Mustangs have it. On the Loyola 36-yard line, Miles trying to get outside, does not, cuts it back inside, and he'll get about 2 yards in that play down to the 34-yard line before he's brought to the turf. And now for St. Rita, the biggest thing they're going to be keeping an eye on is on the lower right portion of your screen. That's the clock. They want to see the thing keep moving. And that's never thought I'd be saying that midway through the third quarter of this game.
Well, the other interesting part is the comment that Coach Holisek made at halftime could be what Todd Kuska thinking about right now or getting close to. How long is he going to leave Mister and some of the other starters in there, knowing that he's got playoff games coming up next week? Very, very interesting coaching decision to be made on both sides of the football.
Right. And Mister will keep it. He works on getting outside, and he does, and he's going to be near the mark. It looks like it'll be a little short. There was a game, Jack, I want to say it was 4 years ago, where it was the end game of the year in the Catholic League Blue. It was at Loyola. It was Loyola and St. Rita. And the way the scenario worked out that year was if Mount Carmel won on Friday night, it was all over. But if Mount Carmel lost, then the two teams, much like tonight, would have a chance for a share. Well, Mount Carmel won on a Friday night. Really took all the importance out of the game, and both coaches, ran the ball all day, got it, got the game over with, made sure nobody got hurt, and they moved on to the playoffs. And we're almost to that kind of a scenario again tonight. Never thought that would happen. 3 receivers left on 3rd down and 2.
Well, that tells you something about the Catholic League Blue and the competition in this league.
Mister will carry. He will have a first down, but a flag comes down, so hold on for just a second. Tom Bonnen's giving me the holding sign. Ball, for the moment, is at the 21-yard line of Loyola.
It's really kind of interesting. Loyola's pass defense has been relatively good. The big plays have come on broken plays when Tommy Mister has scrambled to get those people open. For the most part, the secondary's been good, but the defensive line and the linebackers aren't playing up to what usually Loyola's defense plays to.
Offense, 10-yard penalty from the spot of the foul, 3rd down.
Here we go, 3rd down and long. Crum comes into motion. Back to pass, Mister lets it fly, has a man behind the defense, and St. Rita fans want to call. They will not get it. Anthony Walker deep to receive the kick now.
I don't either, because if most people have been watching Loyola all year long, they were so very consistent with everything they did. St. Rita was kind of a roller coaster team.
Right. Walker dropped it at the 5-yard line, and he'll get it back on the 7. And very nearly another turnover by the Ramblers. This one would have been disastrous inside their own 10. That was a 37-yard punt. Not exactly the situation you want as a quarterback. 1st and 10 from your own 8-yard line. And they'll bring a running back in to give Penn a little extra protection. He may actually run the ball out of here and just try to get a little more room to start out with.
Little Peyton Manning there where he walks up and points out the call for the lineman, which blocking scheme to take.
Penn throw is complete. Nice pass right on the money. Joe Joyce, he'll take it out to the 29-yard line before Bashina brings him down. It'll be 1st down and 10 for Loyola.
They're going fast there. Their last one was a 21-yard gain.
And you go with a little motion. That was O'Malley that went in motion, and the ball out to about the 37-yard line. Not often that we see a keeper by Jack Penn, but he did it on that play. Tonight's game is being directed by Frank Vance. Our technical director is Clark Zabo. The assistant director is Sue Mulvey. Production manager at Weigel Broadcasting is Chris Cangilla. And the executive director of Game of the Week is Fred Weintraub, and our booth producer is Jeff Bagwell's little brother, Garrett.
Prior to Penn being hurt, they ran the option quite a bit against Mount Carmel in other games. But I'm sure they don't want to run the option with him now since he's coming off an injury.
Penn lets it fly down the middle of the field and over everybody's heads, and that will fall incomplete. And we'll bring up 3rd down and 3. Joe Dixon was the intended target on the play.
Because over the last couple of years, Loyola has run the same offense, and they've had some very athletic quarterbacks. If you remember last year, they had Weaver, and the year before that, they had Pujols, and they all could run the option as well as throw the football, and that's exactly what Penn has done this year. But coming in this game, he doesn't want to have him run too much because with the playoffs coming up, he had hurt his shoulder for the last 2 weeks.
Defense! Let's
The
go!
last game that Penn had played prior to tonight was that two-day game with Mount Carmel. They played 3 quarters on Saturday and played the final quarter on Sunday. St. Rita creeping up all sorts of guys into the box. Play clock goes to 0.
Delay a game. Offense. 5-yard penalty. 3rd down.
3rd down and 8. Last year against New Trier. Of course, Loyola and New Trier, they meet almost annually for the lacrosse championship and for the hockey championship. Penn throws, and that pass is, and that's complete.
Oh, great catch.
Out of bounds, the 44-yard line. Nice grab by Joyce, and so the Ramblers able to move the chains and keep the football.
Again, just a little roll, scramble, flush out of the pocket. But watch the accuracy of the throw and watch the hands and the feet. That's just a great catch right there by a high school football player. Joe Joyce, a senior, 36 catches coming into the ball game.
Lamar Dawson thinking, what else do I have to do? Had pretty good coverage there. Penn back to throw, 1st down and 10. Pulls it down, takes a look, doesn't have anybody open, and just wings this thing along the sideline. And it looked like Mitchell almost got it, and it is complete again along the sideline. Another 12-yard gain, 1st and 10 for Loyola. This time at the 43-yard line of St. Rita. Joe Joyce just loves walking that tightrope.
Well, Jack Penn's starting to get a little productive here. He's 13 of 22 before that throw for 187 yards.
Loyola trailing 31-13. Penn has them on the move. Takes a look.
He's got
up in the air. Buscaglia is open. He's got it at the 22-yard line. Machina caught up with him 3 plays in a row that Loyola has gotten a 1st down, and now they're moving the ball, and it'll be spotted inside the red zone, which is a place Loyola has not visited very often tonight.
Nice touch on the football by Jack Penn. He got it over the top of the corner, and before the safety got over there, right in that dead zone, excellent throw and a good route.
First stringers playing like they want to stay in, huh?
I would think.
Penn looking for Buscaglia again. He was not open, has a man, and that is tipped away at the last minute by Joyce because Machina had that one picked off.
The way he's throwing the football, you'd never know he's thrown into a very strong wind. But a good job by Jack Penn. Good mechanics right here. The safety's just sitting, waiting to take it. And fortunately for Loyola, it's knocked down. He's thrown into a real strong wind. That's probably one of the reasons why it hung up a little bit.
Might be a 3-club win now.
Could be.
2nd down and 10.
Mark Pacina is playing center field there, number 8. Does a great job for St. Rita as a free safety.
Penn wants to throw quickly to Buscaglia. He does, and that falls incomplete. Buscaglia got his hands on it, could not hang on. And just like that, it's 3rd down and 10. He'll get 2 downs to try and get a 1st here if he needs them. He'll roll left. Penn sets up and waits. He throws and got the underneath man. Nice play. Good completion to Buscaglia on the far side of the field. It's 1st and goal for Loyola from the 5-yard line.
Shows you what an outstanding athlete Jack Penn is, where now they're rolling to get him away from the pressure, get him on the edge, because he actually throws the football better when he's rolling out than he does in the pocket. And that also gives the receivers more opportunity to get open also.
Other than Penn, no one has run the football for Loyola here in the second half. They'll throw it again. Penn fires, has a man. Joe Joyce, that was a back shoulder throw. I think Joyce was expecting it to be back toward the cone at the corner of the end zone. Falls incomplete, 2nd and goal.
This is also a situation down the road here where Loyola is going to have a running game when they get in the red zone.
We welcome those of you who are watching on ESPN3 around the country. You are watching the championship game of the oldest conference in high school football in the United States, the Catholic League in Chicago. This is the Catholic League Blue title game. Loyola undefeated, but they're on the ropes. Penn trying to get into the end zone, try to swing it to Holly coming out of the backfield. Good coverage on a running back by a linebacker there. Incomplete. It's 4th down and 10. That was John Rayfeld who had the coverage.
Excellent coverage right there. He had him coming out of the backfield, was set up by the fake over the middle. They tried to run that play earlier in the second quarter, and it was a little ineffective then, but that was a super job by Rayfield getting out on Holly there.
Let's reset the down. It's 3rd down and goal. And they'll go with only 2 linemen on the left side of the football here. First time we've seen this formation tonight. Penn rolls to the strong side, takes a look, fires into the end zone, has a touchdown Loyola. Nice catch. Joe Joyce makes the reception. And Loyola now, they are down by a score of 31-19. Let's see if they opt to go for 2 here. Loyola lines up quickly to go for 2. Penn, straight drop back, looks for the slant pattern, and the ball falls incomplete. So the Ramblers, they get a touchdown with 3:14 remaining here in the third quarter.
These two teams are going to do very well in the playoffs.
Kerzlowski will kick it off, and he's kicking into the wind, so he'll just put it on the ground. DJ Miles picks it up at his own 27-yard line, has a nice return out to the 40-yard line before he's brought down by Joe Hancock.
Miles returns the kickoff. St. Rita 40, 1st and 10 Mustangs.
Well, he's keeping Mr. in.
Yeah, it's not in the barn yet.
These leagues are so competitive. You know, you're talking about the Catholic League. 101st year Catholic League's been in existence. Actually, the only other conference that's older than the Catholic League Blue was the old Suburban Conference. We could get in that later about name those teams.
3:09 remaining in the third quarter. Crum goes into motion. Mister will give it to him, try to get to the outside. This is very difficult to do against the Loyola defense. Crum will get about 4 yards out of that before he's forced out of bounds.
And that's the first time they ran that jet sweep. That was in their arsenal in some of the other games we've seen during the year, but it was the first time they ran it this year. And again, they're trying to outrun the defensive front and linebackers of Loyola, trying to get that good speed that they have out on the edges.
And one thing we will see St. Rita do now is really take their time.
This is where that clock pays off in the end zones.
Right. And again, if you were not with us during the opening half, this is one of the few high school stadiums that has a play clock. And Tommy Mister can't miss it. He's staring right at it. It's on the hash marks on that side of the field. On the ground again, this is Jovan Sparks. He'll take it up to the 47-yard line. Brian O'Brien brought him down.
A couple of our biggest fans, Jim, are up on the north side watching the game. Jeff and Katie Blint, they're with their family watching the game, and friends on the north side of Chicago. They don't miss any of the broadcast, nor do they miss anything with the Catholic League Blue. They said it's the best football in the state. Everybody has their own opinion.
3rd down and 3, and the Loyola defense trying to get the ball back for their offense. Gets interesting if that happens. Mister, he will run it. Has a little bit of room, not much he won't get there. And the Loyola Ramblers, you can see them at the top of the screen, jumping up and down on the sideline. Their defense gets a stop, and you would expect, especially because St. Rita is with the win, that they would punt it away here. But it's 4th down and 2, and it's close enough to be tempting. St. Rita going to punt it away with the win. And so it gets interesting too, Jack, because Loyola, they're going to get the win here in a little bit. That's a big-time St. Rita bounce.
Wow.
And Dawson looked at it, thought about touching it, didn't, and then it comes back to the 4-yard line. So 1:21 remaining in the third quarter. So Penn in the game, and he'll hand it off to Holly. He should be well rested. We haven't seen him with a meaningful carry in quite a while. He'll take it out to about the 7-yard line. Congratulations to Evergreen Park High School. They finished the year undefeated. They were a winner tonight over Revis, 50-13. Coming into tonight, there were 10 undefeated teams from around the Chicagoland area, and you're looking at one of them right now, the Loyola Ramblers. But they are in a bit of a spot. They're down 31-19, final minute of the third quarter here at St. Rita. Penn will work out of the shotgun. He's got 3 receivers out to the left.
St. Rita giving him a lot of different looks in the secondary, bouncing around.
Penn looks left. He fires, and a little bit of a dangerous throw, and it comes up incomplete. He's been going a lot to Joyce over on the left side, but that time he was trying to get it to Joe Dixon.
From a coaching standpoint, defensive coordinators look at that. They know he's left-handed, and his propensity would be to throw to his left. If they chart which direction he throws, oftentimes right or left, you'd come up with a larger percentage being thrown to the left.
3rd down and 7 for Loyola. The incompletion stops the clock, which means they have to keep playing and throwing into the wind. Rolling out his pen, fires, has a completion. That's Dixon all the way out to the 18-yard line, and that'll be a first down for Loyola. So now they will get an opportunity to possess the ball going with the wind once the last 33 seconds and change runs off here in the third quarter. Still got ourselves a game here, Jack.
Excuse me, Jim. Jack Penn is not obviously the athlete that Tommy Mister is, but he's one heck of a high school quarterback. He really does a good job throwing both to his left and to his right, very accurate. A lot of poise, throws the ball away when there's too much pressure. Nobody open downfield.
And I think, Jack, the ability to throw in the direction that, going left, that's a lot of lacrosse. And he's an outstanding lacrosse player where you have to be used to being able to fire the ball either way, no matter what direction you're running. Julius Holly will get the carry, takes it out to about the 22-yard line, and that should do it for the third quarter of play. So Loyola, they've been hanging in there. They've been behind almost all night. And they're going to get a chance to turn around and go with the wind in the fourth quarter. They're down by 12 as they try to finish off an undefeated season. Jack Penn, 18 out of 32 for 253 yards and 3 touchdowns. Has one more quarter to play. Will it be Loyola by themselves, or will it be a three-way tie atop the Catholic League Blue? The answer is coming up as we get ready to go to the fourth quarter. You're watching the Catholic League Blue Game of the Week on the YouTube. Hilltoppers, they had a lot of injuries in the middle of the year, and now they are healthy, and that is also the school that our Frank Vance attended back in the day. Gain of about 2 on the carry. It's going to be 3rd down and 3 for Loyola, and they need to keep this drive alive.
Well, they need to keep the drive alive, and they also need to work on their running game. I don't know that they'll be able to be real successful down the road in the playoffs if they rely completely on the passing game, which they've had to do all night tonight against a very tough St. Rita defense.
Real quick, Joliet Catholic shut out a very good Bennett team tonight, so the Hilltoppers rolling going into the playoffs. Haley didn't get the ball from Penn. Penn kept it, and that's going to result in a loss of about a yard in the play. And you can see Penn just slam the football to the ground after the play. He knows that was a critical miss, and I thought, will the Ramblers maybe go for it here? Now remember, they went for it deep in their own territory late in the first half, and they didn't get it. And St. Rita was able to turn that into points. And now with the win, the Ramblers are going to punt it away. Reedy will punt it to Bashina.
I'd like to talk to Coach Holisek about that choice and or if that was the punter's decision.
Reedy gets some room
nice
and gets
kick.
a good kickoff with the win. This could go for a while.
A turf bouncer.
Keeps bouncing, and then it bounces out of bounds. I'm going to spot it at the 24-yard line. Let's see where the official... Mister. He will keep it and spins out of the hole, then taken down at about the 28-yard line. And for the Ramblers, coming up to make the tackle on the play was Jack Gleason.
Didn't look like too much of a tweak there. He seemed to be running pretty well.
He looked pretty good.
You know, we talked about how long this and old this conference is, 101 years. There's a good shot at Tommy Mister and what he's done. He's an outstanding athlete. Loyola was founded in 1909 down in Rogers Park, and St. Rita was founded in 1905. So that gives you an idea of the tradition that these schools have, and of course with this conference and the age of their schools.
Mister wants to throw it out of the backfield and does, and has a completion, and then you want to attract a host of tacklers. DJ Miles kind of running out there by himself for a second, but his forward progress is all the way up to the 33-yard line, so it's going to be 3rd down and 1. You left us hanging, Jack. What about the Suburban Conference?
Well, one of them is Proviso East. Proviso, just at that time, Proviso.
Yeah, Proviso Township. Would Hinsdale have been in the league?
No.
Oak Park?
No.
Wow.
Whoa. Oak Park came in after it was initially founded.
Okay.
Think of all northern schools.
Oh, yeah, because that was, you would have had Waukegan and schools like that.
Exactly.
That was back
Niles.
That was back when there weren't very many suburbs.
That's exactly right.
Tommy Mister pitches late, got it to Miles, and he's taken down at the 31-yard line. He was hit by Cherney, and it's going to be no gain on the play, so it's going to be 4th down for St. Rita. They're going to have to punt it away into the wind. Clock is moving. 8:50 remaining in the fourth quarter, so really this drive right now for Loyola, it's now or never. They have got to score on this drive.
A lot will depend on field position on this particular punt. Field position, if he can handle the punt, That's going to be a key factor. And after he handles it, anything he gets after that.
Anthony Walker is deep to receive, and for the second time, it looks like St. Rita's going to let it run down. Will they let it run all the way down and take the penalty, or will they burn one of their 3 timeouts here to stop the clock?
I think we'll go down about 5 and kick it.
Yeah, they're getting set to kick it, and they do. They got it down to 3, and they kick it. And that's a decent kick into the wind. Fair catch called for and made at the 37-yard line. So the Ramblers, and it's amazing, Jack, they've been dominated throughout this game by St. Rita, but yet here they are, 8:07 remaining in the fourth quarter. They have the football, and they have a chance. And the starters, including Jack Penn, they will come out again. All the receivers are left. I'm sorry, Jack. Penn drops back. He's got a lot of room to run if he wants to. He'll put it up in the air, has a man wide open, but not too much. And the ball is picked off by Bacina. 38-yard line, and the St. Rita Mustangs have it back once again. The question is it enough?
Well, we talked about the good decision-making that Jack Penn has showed us all night long. That really wasn't so much a poor decision as it was a poor throw. He's rolling out here right now. You can see he's got a receiver open. He just doesn't get the ball to him. So it really wasn't a bad decision. But a nice pick right there by St. Rita.
3rd interception of the year for Bacina. Now it is time to run the football and run it down if you are St. Rita. Tommy Mister's been spectacular tonight. Now can he run the 8-minute offense and run it down? Julian Crum around the end. Lots of room. First down, midfield, and he'll take it all the way to
he fumbles.
He had the ball stripped out, and I think the Ramblers might have it. Hold on a second here.
Nope.
Ball went out of bounds.
Great job of stripping the football, but the officials, right away, you're going to get Loyola on their sideline saying they got the football, but the officials are right on it.
It may have been recovered by a Loyola player who was right on the sidelines. Take a look.
What a great job right there of punching through the football. Brian O'Brien, excellent.
Oh, he just couldn't get...
No.
Gleason had his hands on it, but he couldn't bring it in. It's a 22-yard gain for St. Rita.
And that's a play that jet sweep that they ran earlier. And again, this is one of those plays for the repertoire in the playoffs. So who's ever scouting them has to look at these things and prepare for them.
Mister, again, he has the advantage of being able to watch the play clock. Mister will keep it, just not a lot there. He'll get back to the 40-yard line before he's brought down. He was dragged down by Austin Lyons, among others.
I would think that Todd Kuska is probably saying to Tommy Mister, when we're running the option, give him the football. Pitch the football.
Yeah, you know what?
Let them get some work. You've had enough work tonight.
You don't want Tommy Mister getting hit too much.
But I think they've really, in the last couple ball games, have developed so much confidence in their offense going into the playoffs that they're really peaking right now, St. Rita is.
2nd down and 10 from the Loyola 40-yard line. Mister throws, and that ball is incomplete. 3rd down and 10 coming up.
And stops the clock.
Yep, that's the one thing you don't want to do if you're St. Rita. You want to keep that thing moving.
Yeah, I think that, Jim, that first quarter was such a backbreaker for Loyola with St. Rita to come out and score those first 2 long touchdown runs by Tommy Mister that they never got over it. It's not that they've played that poorly, but going into that first 8 minutes of that first quarter really hurt Loyola. And they've been relatively competitive since that point.
One of the teams trying to win and get into the playoffs tonight, TF South, they were one of the teams like on the outside looking in going into this weekend's action, but the Rebels get a 3rd down and 10. Mustangs want to keep possession and run the clock. Mister, back to throw. He will run it. He'll try to run away. He does. He's got a first down. He has more. Inside the 20-yard line, stays on his feet, and then finally corralled and flipped over by Brian O'Brien. But St. Rita back in business again and looking like they'd be ready for a touchdown that truly would put this game away.
25-yard gain here. It's kind of interesting. He kind of just he's got an interesting gait about his run here. Puts the ball away right here. It's not like he's over quick. He's got a nice long stride. He's got excellent speed. Just a kind of a long-gated gait, if you will, as he runs. Kind of reminds me a little bit of the running back at Joliet Catholic last year that's out at Southern California.
Ty Isaac.
Ty Isaac.
Mister empties out the backfield. He's got 5 receivers. He'll throw, and he put it a little bit behind Julian Crum, so the ball falls incomplete. Second down and 10 coming up from the 15.
Todd Kuska there jumped like he was going to stuff the basketball there when he missed him on that play.
How about this one? Lake Zurich coming into tonight undefeated. They are trailing Stevenson 24-17 with a minute left, so we could have 2 of the 10 undefeated teams around the area go down to defeat tonight. Whitney Young has already won today. They'll finish the season undefeated. Talked about Evergreen Park. They were a winner. They finished the year unbeaten. Bolingbrook trying to stay unbeaten by beating Sandburg tonight. Second down and 10 from the 15-yard line. Mister gives to Crum, cuts in behind Miles, and then taken down at the 7-yard line.
That particular play right there gives you an indication of how quick the linebackers for Loyola are, because that play is designed to get away from them. And he did cut back a little bit, but the linebackers from Loyola are really excellent. Of course, their head coach was an outstanding athlete and linebacker in the college and pros. But just take a look right here, how he's run down. He cuts back, but there's your real active linebackers getting into the play. Well-coached football teams. If you look at the scoreboard, you'd say, well, it's kind of a blowout. It's not been that. It's been a really well-played football game.
Only in the last few moments has St. Rita looked like they've really tipped the balance their way. Mister will throw. That pass is short. It's incomplete. And by the way, we've talked a lot tonight about Ryan Price, the cornerback for St. Rita, who's been spectacular in the games in which we've seen him. He's sitting on the training table right now, and it looks like he's getting his footwork down. So that could be something that turns out to be huge going forward for St. Rita if Price is hurt. And there you see him right there. He's been marvelous all season long.
That last pass play by Mister was just poor mechanics. That was an arm throw. He didn't get his hips underneath him. He underthrew the football. That should have been 6 points. And I'm sure the coaches, when they look at the tape and show Tommy that particular mechanics on that throw, that they'll adjust and work on that in practice, because that was the 6 points they can't afford to give up in the playoffs.
Kelly for a 25-yard field goal is no good. So every time we try to put the stake through the heart of the Loyola Ramblers, now you look at the clock, 5.5 left, they're down 12. So it's going to be tough, but we've seen stranger things happen. This thing not over yet.
And the other's been flourishing in the running game, which has been Tommy Meister.
Interesting call on first down. That's Donna. Interesting call for a couple of reasons. Number one, you're down 12 with 5.5 to go, and you run it. But even more interesting is the fact that that's Donnell Haley, not Julius Holly.
Well, Haley is their speedster. I think we might have mentioned that in the first quarter. He's got a lot more speed, and he's a lot more elusive than Holly is.
Penn comes back to the right side for the screen, and that was caught by O'Malley, and he'll take it up to the 16-yard line. It's going to be 3rd down and 4.
We had seen Donnell Haley against Mount Carmel look really good in the fourth quarter. He had a lot of speed. He had some good yardage in that fourth quarter when he replaced Holly.
Penn throws, that's tipped, and it falls incomplete. And that was tipped by Gerald Whitaker, and he is the backup to Ryan Price. So he comes in there and makes a nice play. So it's going to be 4th down, and the Ramblers will come into punt once again. Reedy is back, and St. Rita, again, not buying it. They don't have anybody back deep to receive this kick.
Well, I'd still have one person back there.
Reedy takes a while to get rid of it. Decent kick. Doesn't turn over, however. And then the bounce comes straight toward the St. Rita bench, and it'll go out of bounds at the 47-yard line. So now St. Rita is truly in the 4-minute offense. They'll try to run off the last 4 minutes and get out of here with a share of the Catholic League Blue title. That was a 27-yard punt. 4:31. And Rita would love to just hand it off here, and Mr. drops it. So he's going to have to run it. He wants to stay in bounds. He just gets down the deck. Now, 256 teams will make the state playoffs, and the field is announced tomorrow night. Coming into this weekend, there were 86 open spots. There's 140 teams playing for those spots tonight and tomorrow. Now, did a little further research on about 128 of those actually still have a mathematical chance. But here's the thing, Jack. Every week during the season, if you watch it carefully, like I do because I have nothing else better to do, only about 20 teams move in and out every week. So realistically, even though you have 140 teams for 86 spots, realistically you got about 100 teams competing for those last 86. These two teams will be in the playoffs no matter what.
So you have better things to do. I'm reading some of those books by the Pulitzer Prize winners from these various schools.
Right. Well, I already read them, so I don't need to go back and read them. Miles on the carry, just wants to keep the clock moving. He'll gain a couple. And you would think that on the final week of the season that you'd have a lot of great matchups around the state between 4 and 4 teams where the winner gets into the playoffs. Actually, tonight, all around the state, and none of these games are in the Chicagoland area, only 3 matchups where it's clear-cut that it's 2 4 and 4 teams where the winner goes in and the loser likely goes home.
Well, St. Rita, aside from Tommy Mister, their running game has not been real effective. I thought they were much more effective against Providence. And, of course, that's when they had Tyree Lee in it. And so there was more balance with Miles and Tyree Lee in the backfield to offset Tommy Meister. But tonight, Mister has been the only guy that's really put up any yardage against Loyola. He's been just undefensible.
Inside of 3 minutes to go. Mister will hand it off. This is Javon Sparks. He's out to midfield. He will not get the first down. So Loyola now, they'll just say, all right, we'll put the ball away. That's no problem for us.
It's going to be interesting to watch both of these teams in the playoffs to see how they go and how far they go, because having seen both these teams during the year, we've seen 2 different teams. St. Rita has really gotten good and much better, has improved the last several games of the season. And Loyola has been very well balanced their entire year, very consistent up until tonight.
So here's the way it looks right now in 8A. Bolingbrook will be the number 1 seed. They were a winner tonight over Sandburg, 35-6. The Raiders finished the year undefeated. And even though Loyola loses tonight, in all likelihood, they will be the number 2 because of the strength of their playoff points. Total offense tonight for St. Rita, 401 yards. That's almost unheard of against the John Holisek coach team, although Justin Jackson last year in the semis for Glenbard North had a huge game against this defense.
And he carried the ball 42 times to get it.
And he's a starter on defense as well. He played the whole game, and he covered Loyola's best receiver in that game. And this kick is into the wind, so it's just going to get hit with a gale force and knocked dead and knocked out of bounds at the 29-yard line. And so many teams on St. Rita's schedule are going to win tonight. Mount Carmel has already won.
Well, that second group is in now with just under a minute left, so they gave it their best shot.
So congratulations to the St. Rita Mustangs, the Loyola Academy Ramblers, and the Mount Carmel Caravan, 3-way champions in the Catholic League Blue in 2013, and I think the Rita guys are within all their rights to celebrate. Because I tell you what, that game against Mount Carmel, St. Rita had a rough night, and you thought, wait a second, it was early in the year. Here's a team now 4-1 on the year. What's going to happen the rest of the way? Well, they ran the table from that point, and they end up the season 8-1, and Todd Kuska has to be very happy with the way his team has played tonight. And he has to be excited about the playoffs beginning next week.
Well, they really had a great first half, and that set the tempo for the entire game, obviously, in the first quarter in reality. But that 14-win winning streak is stopped for Loyola. And also, it would have been their 3rd straight undefeated conference championship, and they didn't get it. They won the tie for the conference, but it's not undefeated.
So St. Rita snaps Loyola's 14-game Catholic League Blue winning streak. John Holisek, you know what? He can chuckle a little bit because they dropped from maybe a number 1 seed in 8A. They'll be a number 2 seed in 8A. St. Rita will be among the top 5 seeds in 7A. So it works out pretty well for everybody tonight. In the end, these two teams can now start looking forward to the playoffs. Our final score, St. Rita 31, Loyola 19. For Jack McInerney and for Mark Kruger and for our entire U2 crew, thank you for joining us for Catholic League Blue throughout the season. And again, congratulations to the tri-champions of the Catholic League Blue, St. Rita, Loyola, and Mount Carmel. Good night from the South Side and St. Rita High School.
Well, Mustang fans, I hope you enjoyed that 31-19 St. Rita victory over the Loyola Ramblers, which allowed them to finish the regular season 8-1 and clinch a share of the Catholic League Blue title. Tommy Mister had 4 touchdowns rushing in the game, and once again was his usual unbelievable self on offense. The Mustangs would go on to win their first round game in the 7A state playoffs, and they would run into Mount Carmel, who had given them their only loss during the regular season in what would turn out to be a classic matchup at Gately Stadium. The Mustangs would fall behind early and would come back on a block punt and a long touchdown pass and take a 15-14 lead late in the fourth quarter, only to have the Caravan go on a great drive and to eventually eliminate the Mustangs 21-15. And the Caravan would go on to win the state title. And you know, we always felt like we were the second best team in the state that year, and we just happened to run into a team that was a little bit better. But the Mustangs would then rally and go on to win another Prep Bowl championship and another great year in St. Rita football history. So thanks for joining us tonight. Check back again next Friday as the Mustangs will host the Providence Celtics in a 2011 contest, and it will be another great night of St. Rita football. So have a great night, everybody, and see you next week.
Hello, Todd Kuska, St. Rita football head coach here. Just want to say hello to you guys, and because of the great response we've had from the St. Rita replays that we've been running on Friday nights, we thought it'd be a great opportunity to give everybody an opportunity to take and have one of these helmets at home with them in their man cave, on their dresser, on their bar, as kind of a remembrance to the glory days back when you guys were playing football. We have a limited amount of supply available. These will be refurbished helmets with brand new decals and everything, restriped for everybody, and it will be a great fundraiser for the St. Rita football program. $75 is the cost. You can find the link on our website, and we urge you to go ahead and take part in this fundraiser if you want to. There is a limited amount of supplies, so we look forward to this. Thanks for joining us on the Rita Replays. Look forward to seeing you guys all here at St. Rita watching football games as soon as possible. Go Mustangs.